Good to go. We live? Hello, sports fans, and welcome back. If you tuned in earlier, you watched your UNBSJ Seawolves take down the Mount St. Vincent Mystics 3-0 in the women's volleyball earlier today. And now we have the season opener for the men's volleyball team. Your UNBSJ Seawolves taking on the Holland College Hurricanes in what can only be described as a classic battle. You know, these two teams both consistently competitive in this league, though apparently, now I don't even know if this is true because of how crazy it sounds, but apparently these Seawolves haven't beaten these Hurricanes in regular season play in 4 years? I mean, that is just insane. I think season-wise, on the end, maybe the Holland College Hurricanes have come out a little bit on top of the Seawolves at the end of the season. You know, not by much. I don't think that any team so far that I've seen these teams play has been domination either way, but, you know, that would be like flipping a coin and getting heads 15 times in a row. So obviously, Holland has had UNBSJ's number, and sometimes when you have those large winning streaks, that kind of adds to it. You know, sometimes it can feel like a game is harder to win than it is strictly because you haven't won it a lot in the past, not exactly how the game is going itself. But right on cue, first point to Holland College, number 6, Carson Gray. That's their 4th-year left side out of Stratford, Prince Edward Island. They'll be leaning on him a lot today. He's their most experienced outside swinger. He'll probably get the majority of the sets and makes good on one of those early to start the game 1-0 here for the Hurricanes. A lot of new faces, or some, not new faces per se, but new starters in some positions here for your Seawolves at the end of this play. I'll break that all down for you. Nice push to the outside. It's Huseman with the tip, but handled well by, well, Huseman tipped to his own offense, and then the big swing off the hands. Carson Gray with the dig up, and they're going to go backcourt to, ooh, that's in there. Great swing. They go backcourt there to Kieran Hamlin. He's a first-year outside hitter from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Far from home for number 10, but a couple of really nice swings early from Kieran Hamlin. He looked really good in warm-up. He's a new face for these Holland College Hurricanes this year, but I would imagine that we're going to be calling his name a lot tonight. Ooh. A big my bad call there from Adam Gauthier as he drives that one out the back. Number 1, Tyler McBride. Or sorry, I apologize. That's the setter for Holland. Number 1 on UNBSJ, Jackson Ramier, is a first-year setter out of Fredericton, New Brunswick. He's getting the start today as a rookie. Your outside swingers will be Will Siefker and Adam Gauthier at the power, P1 and P2. Your right side. Ooh, great swing from Gauthier there. He is fired up about that one. He's sporting long hair this year. He had a bit of an army cut last year, and he's looking good with the flow. So him and Siefker are your outside swingers. Jacob Huseman, the lefty, will be your right side swinger. Craig Bartlett, I believe, is his number and his name. Sorry, Craig Bartlett, I believe, is at the net. 3rd-year middle out of Nova Scotia. Didn't start last year, but he's getting the start this year. And looked great in warm-up. Really looked like he's taking his game to his next level. Huge swing there out of the middle for, I believe, number 12. Let me check. Yeah, number 12 there. Oh, I messaged the coach of I messaged the coach, Brett Butler of Holland College, about this before the game. I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing that name. I'm going to give it a crack here. If someone listening at home knows how this is pronounced, let me know. Number 12's name is Sean Werbaweski? He is a 2nd-year middle out of Stettler, Alberta. It says he's listed at 6'1", but I think he looks like a taller glass of water than that. Anyway, Seawolves take that point, and Craig Bartlett back to serve. Into the game comes 2nd-year player, Gabe Powell, the middle out of Rothesay, New Brunswick. The Seawolves are looking for a big leap from him this year. Athletically, he's probably one of the most talented players on the court at any given time. I think assistant coach Jacob McLean told me he touches 11'5", which, if you don't know, that is upper echelon. That is extremely impressive type stuff. If you want to dunk a basketball, you got to jump maybe 10.5 feet, and he's, you know, almost a full foot over that. Oh, out of bounds they call? That one goes out of bounds, unfortunately, for Seawolves. Looks like they thought there was a touch call. Jacob Huseman talking to the ref here, which would indicate to me that he is the court captain for your Seawolves. But I think the right call there from the officials, and the point's going to go to the Hurricanes. We get a ball, don't lie there from Powell, who puts that one away out of the middle, getting the point back for the Seawolves. Now down 3. Jacob Huseman back to serve. On the Hurricanes side, we have Carson Gray, who just touched the ball there, and his opposite power, number 5, Zach Warren, first-year outside header from Hanwell, New Brunswick. Really nice rep from him there. Back now serves number 12, Warboweski. Here we go. We get him on. Audio is only coming through left or right. Not sure which. Never mind, one side totally, just really quiet. Sorry about that. I actually missed the point there trying to read the chats. Sorry, folks. So Siefker back to serve. Siefker a third-year player now? Yeah, Will Siefker, third-year player from Hamilton, Ontario. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and that one trickles over the tape and gets the point back for the Seawolves. So now just a 2-point game. Nice serve. Wow, that's a rep from Carson Gray. Call that the garbage man. Making something out of nothing on that one. Not the best set. Drives that into the hands and takes the point back for the Hurricanes. On the Hurricane side, Carson Gray, like we said, at power. Opposite Zach Warren. Their libero, their setter is Tyler McBride. Gamer. Real big competitor. Love his game. No touch on that. The libero on the Holland College Hurricane side is Connor. That can't be true. It says here that his name is Connor. I'm going to try in between games, find out if that's the name. But we'll be just referring to him as Connor, I suppose, until then. That serve goes into the net for the Seawolves, extending the lead for the Hurricanes back to 3 points. Warren with a nice serve there that goes out the ACAA.ca. That one's going to go out the back, giving the point back to the Seawolves. Go to the Holland College roster. Ooh, a nice swing there on the outside by Gray to win that one back. I forgot that we have all these other teams in the league now. Dang, I need to make sure that it says that our guy from Holland, his name is listed as Connor. I need to make sure. Okay, Connor Daniels at libero. Perfect, okay. That makes more sense. Nice serve by Gauthier, handled well by Holland, though. Oh, nice call on that being out of bounds. Very close. Nice middle run there. I think if, a little bit more snap out of the middle there, and that's a really nice run. Unfortunately, that one sails up the back, and we get the point back to the Seawolves. Now just a 1-point game. Tied 9-10. Or, sorry, not tied, but scored 9-10. Gauthier to serve again. Oh. Tyler McBride tries to turn on that one and unfortunately pushes it into the tape. And we We got a bit of a laughing reaction from the Wolves on that one. Gauthier to serve again. Oh, what a serve! I tell you, folks, off the hand, as soon as that hit his hand, I was almost certain that one was going to skate out the back. But that's some of the allure of the float serve. Even you're not exactly sure where it's going to go. It makes good contact with the equator of that ball there, gets some action on it, and it pulls itself down at the end to take the point and the lead for the Seawolves. Gauthier to serve again. Live by the sword, die by the sword, as that one goes into the tape. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Connor Daniels, okay. That's a lot better than Connor. Those would have been some really interesting parents. So McBride now back to serve. First-year player Jackson Ramier is out there directing traffic and telling his boys where he wants this to go. What a set. Siefker, oh! Unfortunate. Siefker got the big eyes on that one, expected to put that one away, and
just swings a little bit too early and drives her out to the left.
That point's going to go back to the Hurricanes, who finally get that lead back, which ends up being short-lived. McBride sends that one long, giving the point back to the Seawolves, and now tied, 324 points. Craig Bartlett back to serve. Nice touch. Oh. Both Hurricanes there, McBride and Gray, try to get a little cheeky with it. Both going for those one-hand touches. Unfortunately, not able to trickle over the tape on that one. Point's going to go back to the Seawolves, now leading 13-12. Bartlett goes long with that one. To the cheers from the Holland College Hurricanes women's team. Cheering on their team from the sidelines. Nice pass from Gauthier. Huseman with a winner. Huseman was the backup setter last year, and I think provided a lot of really good opportunities for this team in doing a 6-2, being that he's left-handed and has the ability to set and to swing. This year settled nicely into that right side roll. But right on cue, head coach Dino Karatsios with a strategy move here. Into the game comes number 13. That's John McKinnon. He's a first-year left side out of North Brookfield, Nova Scotia. He's coming in to play setter here. And into the game in the front court comes number 8. That's Valencia. He'll be playing front court left side. And right on cue, oh, I love the energy, man. Right on cue, him and Powell come in and build the wall. Send that one back. Seawolves now lead by 2. McKinnon not able to find 2 in a row there. That one goes into the tape. Gauthier. Ooh. That was 4, I thought. Yeah, and Brett Butler, head coach Brett Butler. An interesting decision here. So what's going on is it looked like it was a 4-touch from my perspective. I think that's the right say. But we don't get the call. They end up winning the point. Brett Butler has his court captain, Carson Gray, to go have a talk with the ref about it, which feels like, a bit of an interesting decision. It looked like maybe it was kind of getting a little contentious. You could tell that Carson Gray was saying, no, it definitely got touched 4 times. And the fact is, it's not like it was a misunderstanding of any rule. It must have just been the first official missed the contact. I'm not exactly sure there's like something that you need to make sure is highlighted to them in those moments. Either way, Carson Gray, says his point, make sure that the ref knows where him and his team stand on that one. And they get away with, a ball don't lie moment, as they don't lose the point in the end anyway. Dang. Dead even game here through 16. Good game to start. Nice plays made for both teams so far. 16-16, number 10 back to serve for your Hurricanes. That's Kieran Hamlin. Nice pass from Gauthier. As rookie Jackson Ramier goes back to him for the give and go. One of the most universal plays in sports. Gauthier puts that one high and hard off the hands to take the point back. Seawolves lead 17-6. Nice float serve from Powell. Opa! Just a smidge off there between the setter, McBride, and McCausland. It's the first time we've said his name tonight. Brett McCausland, third-year player at Summerside, Prince Edward Island. And head coach Brett Butler going to call a timeout here for this Holland College squad to take a moment here as UNBSJ pulls away to a 2-point lead. Brett Butler, a true legend of the Holland College Hurricanes program. I would say that he probably is the most decorated player that program's ever had. I know he had a couple of MVPs when I played in the league with him and a couple of championships to go along with it, and has since returned and become, the head coach for this program, and has done a really good job with the squad over the last few years. On the UNBSJ side, head coach Nino Karatsios has been here, a bit of an institution now for 6 or 7 years, and has never got to the top of the mountain. Not an easy thing to do, but he's done a really good job with this program, especially with the support of some of the former players that have helped him with his staff. Jacob McLean, Nick Fraser. I don't want to leave anybody out here. A couple of other really odd. Chad Gale. Both quality coaching staffs that have built, really quality teams. When these guys, like I said, it's been a little bit one-sided in their matchups, but across the league, these guys are, always competitive and always in good games, and it makes it fun for the ACAA. Dude, that's a rep. That is an unreal rep, and he's fired up about it. This number 10, Kieran Hamlin, he's going to be an issue for this Holland College Hurricanes team. An issue in a good way. An issue for other teams, I should say. He looks like he's got the juice, man. So back now to serve number 5, Zach Warren. Nice serve, but handled well by Gauthier on the one. Oh! Gauthier gets sent back. Oh, man, do you ever love to see that if you're the Hurricanes. Gets sent back by Tyler McBride, who stands, nothing but 5'8" versus Gauthier, who's, what do we got listed here? 6'3". Gets him the solo block. He's so fired up, he turns around and gets a chest bump from his head coach there, Brett Butler. And that's to tie the game. That's a crazy play. Another awesome serve. Wow, really nice hands. Oh, you can't because it goes off. That's back-to-back plays getting blocked by Gauthier. This Holland College Hurricanes team is playing tough defense down the stretch here in the first set. And a head coach timeout from, oh my goodness, this is awesome. A head coach, Dino Karatsios, calls a timeout to have a moment with his team. Off the court comes the Hurricanes, and number 10, man, Kieran Hamlin is fired up. He hit the biggest Tiger Woods fist bump you've ever seen coming off the court there, riding the momentum of those last few points. Credit to head coach Brett Butler. They were down 2. He calls that timeout to get his team right. And after that, the next 3 points in a row go Holland College's way, now nursing a 1-point lead. Good ball here and good game to start the first game of both these teams' seasons. So number 5 now back to serve out of the timeout. That's Warren. The Wolves, you got backhands, 3 swings. You can go to Gauthier here. You can go to the middle. I love the middle call. We haven't seen enough of it. And Bartlett sends that one packing. Oh, you know what I've been doing a poor job here. I was kind of referring to the setter as Raymer the whole time when in the game had been John McKinnon for the last little bit, which, you know, we did mention, but I got to make sure I'm staying on that for you guys. Raymer now back into the game, as is Jacob Hughesman to the front court. So still 3 swingers in the front court for UNBSJ. Game tied 19-19. Wow. Nice play there. McCausland. Not even really a hit. That was like almost a dunk that pops up off the hand and goes out of bounds. Takes that point for the Hurricanes. So the Hurricanes the first to break the 20-point barrier. McCausland now to serve. Big breath. Nice floater. Nice hands. Nice job. Nice dig there by Benfica. In. Opa. A very, very tentative call in or out from the ref there. Head coach Brett Butler, you can see he's asking to see something definitive. But the officials give this ball to the Seawolves. We got the first official calling in the court captains here. I believe the court captain is Jacob Hughesman, but Gauthier is a captain as well, so both have been called in here. Brett Butler asking why there was no call on the down ref. I don't know if you can see it outside of the frame here watching at home. There was a call from the ref that Brett Butler's asking about, but it was very, like, he went from basically his hands being at his side to slowly moving one hand up to signal in. It felt more like our down official was corroborating the call of the first official. But again, like, the first official has, like, the final say in all of that. So while I think Brett Butler was disappointed with maybe some of the execution on that, I think that the refs did deliberated correctly and made the right call. Oh my gosh! Wow! No! Oh hey, Carson Gray is talking to the ref here in a way that's going to get him a card. He's been called back to the official and he hasn't returned. Oh, he could get a serious card here. Yellow card, yeah. Brett Butler disappointed. Not sure what happened. I don't think he saw the interaction between the ref and Carson at the stand. So some chippiness early here. UNBSJ up 22-20. Nice hands by McBride, but a huge block. Oh, that goes down on the Seawolves side. Okay. Nice play by the Hurricanes to side out there and give themselves a chance. So McBride now back to serve. Holland with 3 swingers in the front court. Yeah, that's a tall lineup there. They like where they're at here. If McBride can get a couple serves in a row, this could be a chance for them to rattle some off. Nice pass by Benfica. Ooh, they go back to Hughesman with the tip. Lovely execution. Wow. Great job by UNBSJ weathering the storm on that one. That could have got away from them if they let Holland rattle off a couple, but they side out first point. We got Bartlett now back to serve, and UNBSJ leads by 2 here. Timeout called by head coach Brett Butler to grab a moment with his team here. For the folks at home that don't know, the repercussions of a yellow card there are implications for what it means later in the game if you receive another, but there aren't any penalties or punishments for your first yellow card as a player. It's basically a warning. But it's a warning to say that the next time I got to give you one of these, there will be repercussions. I believe a second yellow is direct red, and I think you have to sit the rest of the game out. I could Google this. Bartlett to serve. Nice pass by Gray. It's a little tight. Great fight by both teams there to stay off the net. Unfortunately, Holland not able to pop it up. So now UNBSJ knocking on the door. Bartlett to serve again. He served well so far this game. That's another great serve. Carson Gray steps up. Wow, what a play! That's so not easy. I want to give a shout out to Gray too. Nice strong hands to push that from where he was to the high outside power ball. And Kieran Hamlin. This is everybody in the ACAA's first time seeing him perform, and this kid's got game, man. I like him. Carson Gray, captain of the team, unfortunately shoots his team in the foot with that one. Goes into the tape, and it's going to give the first set here to UNBSJ. Some smiles and some hugging going on from that team walking over the other side. I think they really liked being able to take that first set and some momentum that comes with that. If you haven't been able to get over the Holland College hump the last few years and maybe kind of view it as a bit of a monkey on your back, that's a great way to come out here to start this season. It's crazy to think that there are some people here on this team, on this UNBSJ team, Jacob Huseman, for example, or Cam Willis, for example, that have played on this team for 40 years and have never beaten Holland College. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if we see any changes from either team. Typically when you get a game that close, you don't exactly expect to go making too many changes. That being said, you never know if either of these teams have some players that they think, are close in performance and, are having some questions about that maybe you could use a game like this as an opportunity to see both. Either way, it'll be interesting to see if we see any changes at all from the coaches. Obviously, having won the first one, head coach Dina Karatsios is probably going to go dance with the people that took him to the dance. On the Holland College side, it'll be interesting to see what the depth is. I think they played good, especially some of the performances of their first-year players. Pretty encouraging. Here, I can say for those at home, Jacob Huseman approaches the first official here and says, I can't see what he said after, but he said something along the lines of, I'm sorry for something that happened or maybe something that was said in the first one. And, it looked like he meant it jovially, and it looks like it was received well by the first official. So, a show of class there from the Seawolves and their court captain. And what looked like, a pretty contentious first set between both teams and the officials. But again, like I said, I think, it's pretty easy to find things to take issue with as a coach or a player when you're in a game that's close like that. But I think the refs so far have done an awesome job. And I really do appreciate, first official getting that yellow card out early, as it doesn't carry any repercussions to the team at the moment, but it serves as a reminder that, hey, we're not playing that kind of game today, guys. So Carson Gray back out there again. Hamlin out there again. McBride out there again. Zach Warren out there again. Brett McCausland out there again. Sean Werboweski out there again. So, the usual suspects on that side. I would imagine the first libero coming in is going to be number 4, Connor Daniels, second-year libero out of Adelaide, Australia. Far from home. First official here having some issues with the iPad stand. I think that the iPad, it's fairly new setup here as far as
the officials go. I think it's got something to do with, keeping track of rotations and keeping track of things like yellow cards and such. But first official taking a second here to try and get it onto the stand. I think she's decided to put it down for now, but just a little bit of a hold up before we let this first point go. McCausland back to serve. Nice drive, but handled well by Gauthier. The give and go. Ramier goes back to Gauthier on that one. Carson Gray gets sent back by Bartlett, who's fired up about that one. As UNBSJ takes that first point and takes the rotation. That's a nice block. It's good to see first-year player there, Jackson Ramier, being such a willing blocker. Looked every bit as competitive as Bartlett there on that block, and it's hard to get up there as high as Bartlett, man. He's a good athlete. Carson Gray with a nice touch. And a good job by McBride. Oh, this has got to go over. Oh. Yeah, great call by the ref there. We almost had another one of those 4-touch situations. Yeah, I mean, we saw in the first game, with UNBSJ, they have a new setter in McCord on the women's team who, when she was getting to the front court, she was getting subbed out for, a front court, back court set because they wanted to give themselves a more willing blocker at the front of the court. It's nice when you have someone like Ramier who, is obviously has some real talent at setting, but can also, there's no slouch on the blocking side either. Makes playing defense around it a lot easier. Nice swing there from Bartlett to put that one away and give UNBSJ the point back. Now leading 2-1. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, notice to the ACAA, Kieran Hamlin's got it. They also got the whiteout Nikes with the whiteout Nike socks. I like it. That one served out to the left as Gauthier follows it with a wave. UNBSJ takes that one back. Bartlett now back to serve. Gabe Powell into the game. We got backhands, 3 swings for UNBSJ. If we can get a couple of serves in a row here, it could be a good stretch. What a block! Ball lands in, but the call is for Holland, as it looks like it was a net call. Jacob Huseman, when he was in the huddle with the team, looked like he agreed with it. And second official Jen Brown kind of lets him know exactly where that contact happened. Werboweski drives that one into the tape, giving the point back to UNBSJ as Huseman now goes back to the line. Huseman, a lefty, has a pretty good spinner. Never mind. Take that back. He's floating now. That one going to get lobbed over. Benfica is going to pop that up so they can run their offense. Ooh! Nice play from Jackson Ramier there. I like that, man. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Huseman to serve again. This one off. Daniel steps in with a nice shot. That stays off the roof, but UNBSJ watches it land. I'm not sure. Maybe there was a help call from the setter. There were some eyes looking like maybe people thought Benfica was supposed to play it. Head coach Nino Caraccio said something to our libero here, number 5, John Benfica. Wondering if maybe that's his response, if he's the second touch there, if the setter's out. Jacob Huseman with a nice push from the corner. Wow, great job by Sievker to handle that. Not easy. Not sure if that was a 4-touch or a block or what it was, but a good job by UNBSJ, specifically Gabe Powell and Ramier there, putting up a nice strong block and getting the point. Now leading 6-4. Sievker back to serve. Sievker, a strong spin server. Nice touch. That one's just going to get run over. Sewell's going to run their offense. Go Power. Ooh, pipe. Love it. It just touches the roof. It touches one of the crossbars. It actually looked like it was going to make it out okay, but just trickles into one of those, like I said, cross suspension bars, and going to give the point back to the UNBSJ Seawolves. Now leading by 3. Carson handles a tough serve. Ooh, wow. McBride tries to force that to the middle. It's a tough one. Nice job by Siefker. Nice job by Benfica, too, giving his team a chance. We're on their offense here. A lot of backcourt shots this rep, and that's going to continue. Siefker out of the backcourt. Winner, Gagnon. Nice swing from Siefker. And now what is a 4-point lead leads head coach Brett Butler to call a timeout to get a moment with his team. I think that's a good head coaching call there. Not a whole lot coming up the way of Holland to start this second set.
Down 4 early, but still a lot of time. I think head coach Brett Butler just wants a moment with his team.
Settle the nerves. You went down 1-0. Don't let this game snowball, if you will. Know who your matchups are at the net. Know who you got hitting. If you can get them a good pass, make sure everybody's aligned in what we want to do on offense. Go get yourself one good point coming out of this timeout, and then you can go on a serving run yourself. That's the message if you're Brett Butler. If you're head coach, Karatsios, you're 1-0 to start the game. You got rookies like, Ramier performing well, some of your veterans. Benfica, Siefker, Gauthier. Making big plays, and you're up early here in the second. Keep your foot on the pedal here, fellas. Siefker back to serve again. Good spin serve coming. Look at the depth on that serve receive. A lot of respect for Siefker serve. Ooh. And that's exactly what we talked about. Come out of this timeout, have an idea for what you want to run on offense, get us a good pass, and run it. Good pass right on cue by Daniels. And McBride runs the 1 to McCausland, who puts it away. Zach Warren back to serve. Gabe Powell behind the setter here. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they want to do something. Ooh, great serve. Oh, Siefker. Great run, but a good push to the outside, and Carson Gray battling. Nice chase down by Benfica. Are they going to get a swing on this? Yeah, that's risky. It's not impossible, especially if you're a talented outside swinger. That's something that you can definitely have in the wheelhouse, but it's tough because you need to kind of let it come across your frame while also opening yourself to the court so that you can redirect it towards the net coming from back over your shoulder. Not easy. And unfortunately, Gauthier puts that one into the tape. What a serve. Oh, just long. I thought that was going to tail in. So that one carries long. A little too much juice on that one coming from number 5. That's Zach Warren. As UNBSJ now back up 2. Gabe Powell to serve. I think UNBSJ has a lot of, is really hopeful that Gabe Powell is going to kind of take that next step from being a promising rookie to being a real, solid part of this offense. And, word out of camp is that he's ready to assume that role. Nice swing there by Gauthier out of the front. Put that one away and take the point back for UNBSJ. Now up 3. Powell to serve again. Nice pass by Gray. He runs the 1 in the middle of the McCausland from McBride. Winner, Gagnon. Oh, wow. Great job by Bartlett just digging that one up, and Huseman to get a swing on it. Keeps these Seawolves alive. Wow! Oh! Tricky from the rookie. I don't know if you can see the reactions on the bench. Some real good surprised faces there from some of the assistant coaches on that one. And Ramirez proved to be pretty tricky there in when and how he decides to tip the ball. You like that from your setter? Oh, right on cue. McBride tries to do the same, and UNBSJ sends it back. Siefker navigating the back line well, and a huge swing. That is great volleyball across the board from UNBSJ. Extending the lead back to 4. Trouble. This one's just going to get popped up by McBride and overbumped. UNBSJ going to run their offense here on the one. Ooh, back to Huseman. Winner. Everything coming up UNBSJ right now. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a timeout or some sort of switch here from head coach Brett Butler. Oh, and Carson Gray steals one. A bit of a bad pass from the libero. I shouldn't say bad. A bit of a probably below his own standard pass from Daniels there. McBride just throws a high ball to the outside. Carson Gray, kind of stuck in a phone booth with his blockers, is able to beat them to take a point back for Holland. Wow, great run there. Great chemistry, we'll say, from our setter, from our first-year setter there, and our left side hitter, Adam Gauthier. He runs that quick behind the back set on that serve receive, is able to put away the winner and give UNBSJ the point back. Oh, and a good serve from Gauthier. Goes off the platform of number 5. That's Warren, and extends this lead now to 6. Brett Butler, having seen enough, is going to try and get some change out there. Out of the game comes Carson Gray, and into the game comes number 13, Nathan Baker, 5th-year player out of Clarenville, Newfoundland. Oh, right, okay, so Carson Gray coming off was the court captain. We have our new court captain now acknowledged being setter Tyler McBride. Big pass from Daniels. And unfortunately for Kieran Hamlin, not able to find the court on that one. Tries to go outside the block, but goes outside the court with it too. And UNBSJ kind of pulling away with this one. A bit of a break in the action here. Gives me a chance to thank our sponsors, who I should have thanked already. It's funny for me to read these sponsors and read the first line being before I introduce the teams. It was when I was supposed to first read these sponsors' calls, so a little bit late, but appreciate these guys all the same for their support of the 2025-2026 Seawolf season. We thank Lester's Trophies, Centaur Atlantic, Domino's Pizza, UNB Associated Alumni, One Team Sports Group, Select Printing and Signs, Booster Juice, the East Point location, and Culligan Water. Interesting, at the net here, we have Jacob Huseman talking to the ref about something that occurred. He's got a big smile on his face, being charming, as you should be speaking to a ref. But I wonder what that conversation was about. I don't think there was anything too contentious as far as like what the ruling would be on a play throughout the game so far. Maybe it had something to do with the chat about where the court captains were in that. Either way, UNBSJ comes out of this timeout with the serve, leading 7, having already won the first set. Good spot to be in. If you're Holland, you're going to try and start. You got to start trying to build some momentum now. Nice pop up. Great run out of the middle. Out. Wow. That was close. UNBSJ with a huge win out of the timeout. I thought I was going to be singing the praises of Holland again and how well they've done at siding out when they come out of timeouts, but UNBSJ is able to take that one and extend the lead to 8. Nice pass again. Ooh, that's tight. Wow, great job by Hamlin. Made dealing with that look easy to some extent. So out of the game comes Tyler McBride, and into the game comes number 9. That is Liam Galway, second-year setter out of St. John's, Newfoundland. Baker with a spin serve. Goes back to Huseman. Man, Huseman. I've been fortunate enough to call all the games that Huseman's been a part of here. Well, 95, we'll say, percent of them in case I was missing, since he was the UNBSJ Seawolf. And it has been really impressive how far he's come along as not just a hitter, but as a player. Not to ever say he was bad, but, I'm not sure if I ever understood the level of hitter that he could be. I knew that he was the backup setter, which I thought he was really great at, and I thought he offered some interesting points as a lefty. But, man, his game is really developed. He's a truly reliable outside swinger. He can block. He can be your backup setter. That is some unreal value out of a player in Huseman who's just continued to get better year after year. 6'3" out of Hampton, New Brunswick. All right, 18-11 for the Seawolves. We got backhands, 3 swings. Ball's a little tight. This one's probably going to go to Huseman as well. Lefty with a nice high swing on it. Nice touch. Setter out. Wow! This one's just going to go over. Nice job by Seifker to handle that. Go back. Yeah. Huseman with a tip, but that one's going to go out of bounds. Good decision making by Ramier. Gets spoiled with a not the greatest execution on the tip by Huseman there. So again, backhands, 3 swings. We got Seifker, Powell, and Huseman at the front court. No bad options as far as who you want to set here. Good pass from Seifker. Powell gets way up there but isn't able to find the court. Pulls it on that one. Goes out to the left and going to give the point back to Holland. So now just a 5-point game. What was an 8-point game just a second ago is getting a little bit more manageable. A good serve. This is a tough one. Huseman just going to have to... Oh, right, lefty. Great swing. A good try by Gauthier to chase that one down, but isn't able to pop it back up. And another point going to go to Holland. Yeah, that's a good timeout call I hear there by Dino Karatsios. I like doing that when it's like 4 versus making that call when it's like 2. Because if you call it when you're 4, you give your chance to get a break and weather the storm before it gets even. But also it gives you the chance to call this timeout again if and when it's even or maybe even 1 point for Holland. Whereas if you wait until it's 1 or 2 points for Holland to call that first timeout, then you kind of almost coming out of that timeout, if it gets a couple more points in a row, you almost just have to let the team kind of sit and wait with it. Right now it's still firmly in your side, and this is like, your deep breath timeout. Settle in, make a pass, get out of here. You can call the same timeout. You can call this timeout again in, 4 points, let's say, if theoretically Holland ties it up, and you can have a different nature of that conversation, which you can tend to at that point. But I think this is a really quality timeout. This is what we'd call your deep breath timeout. Okay, so coming out of the break. 4-point game, still securely in the hands of UNBSJ, but Holland rallying. Was down 8 just a split second ago. Another nice serve coming out of the timeout. This one's just going to get lobbed over. Let's see the offense here from Holland. Oh, whoop. Yeah, you do have to call that. Gabe Powell's on the net, and despite the fact that that ball never had a chance to come over, it didn't hit the ground before the net call. The first infraction there was absolutely the net call on Powell, and a great call by the refs. So Holland gets away with one, we'll say. Man, he's a good server. At least he's serving good at the moment. In there. Great swing by Siefker. So we're getting the double setter switch here again, which is a little surprising to me. I think you obviously like to have 3 swingers in the front court at all times, and that's why you'll do this switch. You switch your right side with the setter and your setter with the right side, so that your setter stays in the back court and you stay with 3 hitters in the front court. But I think that Ramier had done such a good job blocking that what you lose in possibly having that third offensive player, I think you gain back from having who you would consider to be your setter 1 in there. But head coach Dino Karatsios knows this team inside out better than we do, and has an idea of why he wants to make the switch and the position that he wants to put his players in. Unfortunately, Valencia puts that one long. Now a 3-point game, Holland to serve. Nice serve from Hamlin. Real nice swing from Siefker. Unfortunately, it gets blocked back, and even though it's popped up, UNBSJ not able to chase it down. And now just a 2-point game here for Holland. Hamlin to serve. Nice pass from Gauthier. This one's got to go over. No. Good try. I think they're still struggling to find the middle here as much as I think they would like to. Powell there just has to tip it over, but is able to find a tough spot in the court and win the point back here for UNBSJ. Now up 3 with Siefker to serve. Nice serve from Siefker. A double call on that play at the net. Trying to get it off the tape as McCausland drove that through the block. Warren now back to serve. 2-point game. Both these teams securely in it. Wow, a lot of movement on that ball. Back to Siefker. Oh. I like the idea there from John McKinnon, setter, going back to Gauthier. I think sometimes going back like that again can, the defense would almost expect you on the second time to try something else, and going back to it can be a good little change-up. Unfortunately, Gauthier not able to put that one away. Gauthier, typically one of the more effective hitters on this team, having a bit of an up-and-down day so far. Valencia with a bomb. Valencia got some energy, man. Before the game when these teams were huddled up, number 8, Valencia, was leading the charge in the Seawolves huddle. Building that momentum, getting that energy going. You could tell he was fired up. So big swing from him. He's still at the front court. Gabe Powell now back to serve. 21 serving 19. Nice block. What a block from Bartlett and Gauthier. Usually balls that are that far off the net that you're taking a swing at, it can be easy for a defense to just sit back, let you take your swing, and try and play defense around it, get a pass. UNBSJ, real aggressive, good discipline at the net, still blocking, send it back and win the point. Now up 3. This one's going to be able to go over. Great swing there from McKinnon. Dude. Hamlin. That guy's nice. So, McCausland now back to serve. Benfica into the game for Powell. We got backhands, 3 swings. 3 swings for UNBSJ. Valencia, Bartlett, and Gauthier. I think you're probably going to have to go to Gauthier here, yep. And another mistake from Gauthier. Unlike him. Now just a 1-point game. 22-21 in what was an 8-point game. Gauthier rolled the ball under the net and getting some insight from the refs that the process is to roll it outside the court and let the ball people take care of it. McCausland to serve again. For those of you tuning in, UNBSJ won the first set 25-22. Siefker getting dragged on there. Now 22-22. Timeout called by UNBSJ. These guys are in a game here. What you said? Oh, the gem? Oh, yeah. No, sorry, get out of here. All right, we're back. 22-22. We're right in one. We got a switch here on the UNBSJ side. We got a new face in the back. Siefker comes out, and into the game comes first-year player number 14, Jordan. Oh my goodness, Jordan Apostolovsky. I actually think I got that right. First-year player out of North Brookfield, Nova Scotia. Gauthier with a winner coming out of the break. Good for him to kind of get some momentum back. He'd been on a bit of a dry spell there. He out of the game comes. We got our right side and center switch again. Jacob Huseman and Jackson Ramier back into the game now. Nice serve from Ramier. Oh man, out of the back court comes Kieran Hamlin. Oh, I was looking at the names there. Oh, they said no touch and it bounced out of bounds. That's something that we can't really see here in the booth. It's blocked out by our first official. Oh, Gauthier. Whoa, Benfica tries to make a play. I actually really respect it. Play's not over until it's over. Unfortunately, on that one, they're not able to tip that ball back. Score now 24-23 for UNBSJ. We got Baker coming out of the game. On the Holland side, in back to the game comes McBride. Or sorry, not Baker coming out of the game. That is Galway coming out of the game with McBride coming back into the game. Nathan Baker still in there talking to the ref. So McBride to serve, one of the more consistent servers on this Holland team. Game on the line. Handled by Benfica. You got to go. Opa. Winner! Gagnon. Big swing from Huseman. I thought for sure they were going to go back to Gauthier on that one. Instead, they set the lefty out on the left side, and he puts it away, man. Really great showing from UNBSJ here to start this season for themselves. Obviously not over yet. 2 doesn't win you a game, 3 does. But it's a good position to be in. If you're Holland, now you got to win 3 straight. Oh, Black Betty. Take a moment here to highlight our UNBSJ Athletes of the Week. Emma Downs was this week's recipient for the women's side. representing the women's rugby sevens team. And Keanu Pereira is the representative from the men's side representing the men's soccer team. For those of you watching, don't forget to tune in to the ACAA men's semifinal on acaa.tv at 5:30 p.m. tonight. Your UNBSJ Seawolves take on their rivals, the St. Thomas Tommies, for a chance to book their ticket to the men's soccer finals. That's going to be a great one. All right, so your UNBSJ Seawolves up 2-0 on this Holland College Hurricanes team. Don't want to jinx anything, but I did mention earlier this game that I think it has been, 3 or 4 full seasons without this UNBSJ team taking a game off Holland College. So I'm sitting here at a wooden desk, knocking on wood in front of me, but UNBSJ well under the way to a win that's been eluding them for a couple of years now. Like I said, there are some veterans on this team that probably don't know what it's like to beat Holland, and would be a good omen for a team trying to kickstart a big campaign this year. That's interesting. Nice touch from Gauthier. Wow, you got to respect Bartlett making himself an option. And another error from Gauthier. So, when I said it was interesting, we've seen X amount of sets so far, or serves so far, we'll say, from Jackson Ramier. And that one, he ripped off a version of a spin serve that we hadn't seen to that point. So a little bit of a change up. Back to serve now is number 11 for Holland College. That's McCausland. What looked like it could have been a nice run out of the middle there. Unfortunately, Bartlett puts that one into the tape. I think I'd like to see UNBSJ run more middle sets just dutifully. And then I think it changes the way that you have to defend a team. If you believe that first set could always go to the middle, it makes it harder for the middle to make it to the outsides on his blocks. And it feels like maybe their middles right now are keying off on our outside hitters. For all the great swings he's made today, that one, unfortunately, is going to go out to the left for Hamlin. Going to give the point back to UNBSJ. Coach Shea now back to serve. Oof, just trickles over. Big block from Huseman and Bartlett. They run it again, and another block again. What a handle by Benfica. Ramier chases it down, and a nice job there by the rookie. Jordan Apostolovsky. Squeezing that one over, but good job by Holland to power that through the block of Huseman and Bartlett for the third time. The first two, they got it back, but eventually they were able to squeak it through. Liam Galway now back to serve. Nice pass. That's an unreal pass by Benfica. And that's what happens, man. You get a pass like that to your offense, everything looks good. You know, that'll go down as a big kill for Bartlett and a great set for Ramier. But Benfica is the player of the point on that one, if you ask me. Bit of a give and go there from Holland. Carson Gray gets the ball that he passed. That's up. Oh, I guess it was down, and doesn't look like there was any arguments from Ramier on that one. So probably did hit the ground. Carson Gray now back to serve. Nice push and a nice swing there by Apostolovsky. And a great job by Powell navigating the net there and sending that one back. What a block. Powell fired up about that one. Real good game to start here. Start the third. Huseman back to serve. This one's just going to get rolled over. Oh, a good try from Benfica and from Gauthier to chase that one down. Gauthier saying, "Hey, sorry, that one's my fault. I'm not, it's not an easy play by any means to make." So back now to serve number 12. That's Sean Werbowski. Gauthier with a tight one. That's tough. Ramier just tries to pop that one over, but good defense by the Hurricanes. Specifically, I think that was Hamlin up at the net, sending that one back. Werbowski to serve again. Nice pass from Apostolovsky. Huseman sends that one up. Yeah, that would be the time to go at the tip, but Holland sees it coming. And a big swing by McCausland. McCausland been on this team for a couple of years now, really coming into his own as a player. Apostolovsky now back to serve. That's a great set, man. Like, that's volleyball. Man, Hamlin fired up about it too, bro. He's a fun player to watch. Hamlin back to serve. Benfica with a good pass. Run the one. Powell. You know what's funny is it's not exactly the greatest middle run. The ball's pretty high, and it gives the defense some time to key off on that and jump with the middle. But it didn't matter for Powell, man. Just powers it through the block. Holland looking for a nice give and go there to their guy Baker, the fifth-year outside hitter out of Clarenville, Newfoundland. But unfortunately, he drives that one at the back, giving the point back to UNBSJ. And what is now just a one-point game. Nice serve from Powell, but handled well by the Hurricanes. Wow, what a block from Gauthier. This one's just going to get bumped over. Tip this. Whoppa. Nice swing. Give credit where credit is due for Connor Daniels trying to chase that one down. But, man, really good job at the net. Executing their offense by Ramier and Bartlett there. Good block by Gauthier to send that back. Quality stuff from the Seawolves so far here in the third. Another nice serve from Powell, carrying. This one's just going to have to get bumped over. Nice touch from Powell, too. Yeah, this is, I mean, what the Seawolves are doing right now is awesome. Hamlin disappointed himself. You can't, you know, they can't always be great. But, man, the Seawolves are earning these points. Nice serve, handled well by the Hurricanes. Carson Gray out of the pipe. A nice touch by Powell. When you serve as a middle, you know, typically you don't get to play defense as a middle because you're coming out of the game. But when you serve, it's that one rotation where you do get to step in and play defense. And, man, Powell's handled some tips well, and he's got some well-driven balls dug up. Playing good for his defense, earning his team these extra points on the serve, and now leading here in the third, 10-8. Oh, and almost gets the dig there, too. Comes up with a smile on his face. Isn't able to get that one. Nice swing out of the middle there from the Hurricanes. Now scores 10-9 with our guy Nathan Baker back to serve. Nice pass from Gauthier. Wow, man. That is an elite level rep from these Seawolves. The set almost verged on being just a little too high. But Bartlett, you know, being 6'3", I'd say, and with the vertical that he has, is able to kind of fly above all and send that one to the back court. Talking about flying above all, man. McCausland came in there like a bat out of hell and sends that one down. Score now 11-10. Both these teams securely in one. Gauthier with the touch. Nice strong hands from Ramier to the outside. Huseman gets sent back. The double dip. Try him again. No, now they're going out to Gauthier, who put some good top spin on it, but Holland going to run their offense. This one's going to go over. Good job. Holland running their offense again. Ooh, they run the C. Wow! Again, just got to go over. Yeah, it's probably right. The second touch, you know, coming out with that much spin, it's a smoking gun here for the double touch. Sometimes in scramble plays like that, some refs will show a little bit of leeway with those touches, which is it's kind of like a judgment call, a flow of the game type thing. You don't want to ruin a play, but by the letter of the law, I think there's no doubt that was a double touch. Unfortunately, McCausland not able to capitalize, puts that one in the net and gives the point back to UNBSJ. Nice touch. Nice swing. Great rep there from your Holland College Hurricanes. Benfica handles that one with his hands. Going back. Oh, power. Ooh. That is a crazy shot from Carson Gray. Basically like in a phone booth. Just jumps straight up. Somehow cuts that down his own face and outside the block to the left, but inside the court. That's some quality stuff. Another nice swing there from Postolovsky. The changeup. Oh, you can't do that. And he knows. He kind of looks at his team and says, that one's my bad there. Liam Galway, second-year setter out of St. John's, Newfoundland. I know what he's trying to do, especially when you're the first touch as a setter. You want to pop it up as high as you can to give your team some time to get behind it and get into their offensive possession. Unfortunately, just pops that one up a little too high and finds the rafters. So game tied now, 13-13. Bartlett with a nice touch. This is probably going to go Ooh, C-ball, Gauthier, who can't find it. Gauthier shooting himself in the foot a lot today. Carson Gray now back to serve. Whopa! Apostolovsky with the one-footed approach. Drives that one through the hands and picks up what might be his first kill as a UNBSJ Seawolf.
Oh,
all right, so we do our classic front court, back court setter switch here for the UNBSJ Seawolves. In for Ramier comes Valencia, and in for Huseman comes number 13, John McKinnon. And John McKinnon comes off the bench and drills an ace as UNBSJ takes the lead here in the third. Another nice serve. Blocked by Powell, who's fired up about it. And now Holland College making a sub. So into the game comes number 5, Zach Warren, who we'd seen so far today, and out of the game comes number 13, Nathan Baker. Nice serve from McKinnon. What a touch by Benfica. Oh, and Valencia tries to go with the pro tip, but drives it just out to the right. Giving that point back to UNBSJ. I mean, to Holland, I apologize. So UNBSJ now nursing a 1-point lead. Werboweski now back to serve. Oof. Apostolovsky frozen in time on that one. (16-16). This is what you look for. Apostolovsky with a better touch on that one. Whoa, man! Let me just say, I don't know if it's obvious how hard it is to execute that play as a setter in the middle. You gotta basically line drive that ball right into the wheelhouse of your middle, already basically in the air. It makes it a little easier when you jump as high and you're as tall as Gabe Powell is. But man, still a really impressive rep from the Seawolves there. Bit of a crazy choice from number 5. I don't want to say crazy because you never want to coach out the aggressiveness from your hitters. But, in a game this close, you'd be surprised how many good points you can win just by keeping the ball in play and then living to fight another play. Warren tries to go for the kill shot on that one, drives it out to the left, and gives the point back to UNBSJ. Now up 2 in a must-win game for themselves. Okay, so Apostolovsky now back to serve. Ooh. Self-inflicted there by your Hurricanes as they drive that one into the tape. And the Seawolves extend their lead to 3 here in the third set. And another, hey, my bad, signal from Apostolovsky there as he puts that one into the tape. Gives the point back to UNBSJ, or to the Holland College Hurricanes, sorry. Hamlin now back to serve. UNBSJ with backhands here and 3 swingers. You got a good ball. I think you probably got to go to Gauthier here. Oh, they go to Valencia. It's tough. A tip is kind of handled by UNBSJ. Gauthier touches on the way down, but takes another swat at it as it goes by him. And actually, Andy probably ends up hurting his defense more than helping it, as Benfica isn't able to make play on the next touch. So, now just a 1-point game. Oh, what a dig. And Powell doing the crazy athlete stuff. Apostolovsky with a great touch. Yeah, run the one. Whoopa. It's not over. It's over. That one's got to go over there, and unfortunately, Warren isn't able to find it. So that point's going to go back to UNBSJ again. Now up 2 and turn the corner of the 20-point mark first. 5 points away from UNBSJ, knocking off one of their demons the last few years for the first time. Nice serve from Powell. Powell! Ooh, good job by Galway there. Leaves no doubt about it. So, Warren back to serve. One-point game. Great serve, but Benfica handles it nicely. It's a great push to Gauthier. Oh, winner! So we get a sub here. Warren comes out of the game, and back into the game comes number 13. That's Nathan Baker. And we get the double sub on the UNBSJ side. So back into the game comes rookie setter Jackson Ramier, and to the right side, Jacob Huseman assumes his position in the front court. UNBSJ up 2. Oh, great rep by McCausland, who's having himself a day. Oh, McCausland with an untimely miss. UNBSJ excited about that miss, giving them a 2-point lead again, as second official Jen Brown has to tell the UNBSJ sideline to calm down a little bit. There is a restricted area you're not allowed to enter. Gauthier now to serve. That's no touch. Oh. Out of bounds? Oh, it must have touched the antenna. Okay. Bomb squad from Jacob Huseman. He has developed into some swinger, man. UNBSJ not 2 points away from taking this 3-0 in a handshake. Oh, timeout called by head coach Brett Butler.
You're in the stretch here, and 2 points don't go your way, then
you're calling this a game, so he's taking his moment with his team here to make sure that everybody's aligned and they got the same ideas. How can one little street spoil so many lives? All right, so UNBSJ quickly out of that timeout. Craig Bartlett enjoying the music playing, taking a little dance before he gets this ball. Okay. Big serve from Bartlett. I think you got to go back here. Ooh. Big block. They're going out again. That's up. Great job. Apostolovsky tries to drive it to the back corner, and it's just long. All right, so 23-22 now for your Seawolves. Holland College now to serve. Down one, in one. Oof. Apostolovsky with the give and go. Whoopa. That's got to go over. I actually think that's a great. I think that had to go over. I think it was double touched by UNBSJ. So they try to send that one over, but it goes out of bounds. And what is now a tie game, head coach Dino Karatsios of the Seawolves calling themselves a timeout, trying to weather the storm here. Love seeing the energy from some of these young guys in this league here. You can fully see they're just still so excited to be out there having the fun in these games. Hamlin having a blast out there, you can tell. Same with Jackson Ramier on the Seawolves. A lot of promise, a lot of young promise in this league. Just a quick timeout here from head coach Dino Karatsios. Seawolves have been the first team to break the huddle the last two timeouts. Not a whole lot of wisdom to impart. I think this is more of those, take a deep breath timeouts, get yourself aligned, make sure you know who your headers are, and just get back out there. Big serve here from the Hurricanes. Apostolovsky with a big dig. What a great swing from Hughesman. UNBSJ now in striking distance. Oh, the change up from Hamlin. Big smile on his face as he steals that one. Apostolovsky can't handle the serve. And now UNBSJ on the outside looking in of a game point here. And another timeout by head coach Dino Karatsios. These teams are in one. Credit to Holland, man, not saying die. Could have been easy to roll over. You're down 2-0, and then you get down 24-23 instead. Win two quick ones, the double. And now you're up 25-24 with a chance to start swinging this momentum. So UNBSJ now in a do-or-die position on serve receive. Head coach Dino Karatzios still rolling with the rookie Apostolowski. He got in a little earlier for the vet Will Siefker, and he's been in there ever since. Jump. Go ahead and jump. And for the third time, UNBSJ out of that timeout much quicker than Holland is. Brett Butler talking some strategy, whereas head coach Dino Karatzios is probably using this, like I said, as one of those take a breather timeouts. We are securely in one here. Werboweski to serve. Bang! Holland says it's not over just yet. UNBSJ drops the third, now up 2-1. We're going to head to the fourth. And we're back. We are back. What looked like it was going to be a quick 3-0 on a handshake. Holland College Hurricanes rally late. Keep us in one here. Take the third set. I believe 26-24. So now UNBSJ up 2-1. Looks like we got the same lineup here for, oh no, whoa. So Jacob Huseman, looks like he's come off. And we got Valencia now in the game for Huseman. But other than that, the usual suspects on the UNBSJ side. We still got Apostolowski. Oh, Valencia tries to chase that one down. That one off the platform of Apostolowski, who has had some struggles on the serve-receive side. It's funny because I think that was probably the reason that Siefker saw his number get called off. And, you know, not to pile on Apostolowski, but I don't know if necessarily it has been an improvement in that sector. Nice pass from Gauthier. They run the one to Bartlett, who sends that one away. Carson Gray with the power tip there. Over the block and down into that soft spot of the defense. Nice push. Oh, Valencia tries to drive that one through the block. That's a tough one, though. Being left-handed, swinging out of the right side, you kind of have to let that, being left-handed, swinging out of the left side, you have to let that ball come all the way across your frame before you can hit it. Unfortunately, he's not able to find it on that one, and Holland off to a 3-1 lead to start the fourth. Oh, Gauthier with a high-driven ball to the back court. Don't know if it would have found the court if it wasn't touched, but Holland's center back defender there takes a stab at it, goes off his hands, and it's going to give the point back to UNBSJ. So 2 serving 3, Gauthier back to serve. Ooh, ooh, come on. Nice touch by Valencia. Coach A now back to serve again in what is a tie game. Nice serve, but handled well. Oh, and that's out. Wow, Valencia had 95% of it, but you got to turn that block in. Carson Gray uses his hands to his advantage and takes the point for Holland. Benfica up. Benfica with the overbump that gets turned back into the court there, and Holland now up 5-3. Good job by Carson Gray there, controlling the net. Whoa, wow, what a push by Ramier. Gets that one along the net to Bartlett, who puts it away. Bartlett now back to serve with Powell now into the game. Great run out of the middle there for Gabe Powell. Valencia now back to serve. Valencia, when he can get going, man, he has a nasty, nasty spin serve. He can sometimes lack a little bit in consistency. But like I said, when he starts cooking, man, he can rattle off a lot in a row. Unfortunately for the Seawolves there, Hurricanes do a good job siding out. Get a good pass and run it to Hamlin, who wins that one, sending their lead back up to 2. Interference, maybe? No call. We're alive. Just got to bump it over. Good job by Gauthier. No touch. Yeah, great call by the ref. Ooh. Oh, man. Jackson Ramier pumped up about that one, dude. Love to see it from the rookie. Apostolowski with a nice deep serve. What a block out of the middle. Ooh, a big push there from number 9, Liam Galway, and the refs letting the boys play with those double touches. A couple of those long sets from Holland so far in this fourth have come out with a lot of action on it. That's popped up by Valencia. It's tight though. Wow, man! Ramier controlling the net. UNBSJ now up 2. Holland has a bit of a prolonged huddle to talk that one through. Nice push to the outside. Big block, though. Wow, sent back by Powell. This one's just got to go over. Nice job by Benfica. Run your offense. Powell with a winner! Powell's making a difference right now. Apostolowski now back to serve. Is that how we pronounce it? Apostolowski. Yeah, that's got to be it. Nice serve from him. Just under the reach of McCausland, who saves it. Gauthier with a big swing. And UNBSJ really coming up here. Brett Butler probably mulling over. Yeah, okay, so he goes with a player change. Out of the game comes number 9, Liam Galway, and into the game comes number 1, Tyler McBride. Tyler McBride was the starter here today. He had about a set and a half here on the bench, but back into the game now. Boom, and first play connects with McCausland in a way that the last few points it feels like there's been a bit of a disconnect here. So credit to head coach Brett Butler making a timely switch for his squad. Okay, we got front hands, 2 swings, Powell and Gauthier. We're going to go to Gauthier. Powell brings all the attention on that first tempo ball. They go high to the outside and over it, and Gauthier sends that one to Pound Town. A little note, something that's always good to see. Siefker started this game, has since been brought onto the bench with Apostolowski coming into the game and playing, and Siefker still in good spirits, cheering on his team big time on the sideline. No one was more excited in the gym for that last hit than him. It's up. It's fully up. Wow, we're live. A nice tip by McCausland. It's handled well by UNBSJ. This one's alive too. We're going to get a swing on it. Oh. And Ramier tries to turn and get some wood on it, but a big block from Holland sends that one back. Now just 12-9 for the Hurricanes. Sorry, for the Seawolves. Nathan Baker now back to serve. Baker with a spin serve. The big tip from Gauthier gets handled well by the Hurricanes. And a huge swing from Garson Gray isn't even close to enough. He ends up on his back watching the ball land right in front of him. It wouldn't surprise me to see, 95% of the sets from here on out going to Hamlin and Gray. McCausland's played well as well. But when you got your outside hitters going, everything's easier, and I think those are their guys. So whether they're getting blocked or not, I expect to see a lot from, Gray and Hamlin down the stretch here. But a huge swing from Gauthier there is going to extend the lead up to 5 now. 14-9 in favor of your Seawolves. Already up 2-1. So as per usual in this game here today, UNBSJ takes the court first out of that timeout break. Holland still dialed into what head coach Brett Butler is selling. Whoopa! Big serve from Ramier coming out of the timeout. Carson Gray can't handle it. Goes instant transmission from his platform to the ground. Ah! But Ramier returns the blessing there. Puts that one into the net. Turning that ball over, giving the point back to Holland. Holland now down 5. McCausland to serve. Deep breath from McCausland here. Great serve. Oop, a bit of a messy run there from... Oh, you can't do that! Yeah, and a great call by the refs. That's interference. McBride was trying to set up his guy as Valencia leaned over and basically steals it from him. So... now a 4-point lead. McCausland to serve again. You got Bartlett, Valencia in the front court here. That can't be right. We got to have 3. Bartlett, Valencia, and Apostolovsky. I apologize. Or no, it's... Wow. Wow! Way to make something out of nothing there, boys. And Valencia's fired up about it. Gauthier, having definitely his strongest set so far, goes back to the service line as Apostolovsky takes to the front court. UNBSJ is still nursing a 5-point lead. Oh, man. Carson Gray opens up on that one. UNBSJ gets a piece of it, but he sends him to the hills. So McBride now back to serve. We got Werboweski, Hamlin, and Gray at the front court. That's going to be in. Big block from Gray and Werboweski on that one. Werboweski, maybe? Three-point game. McBride with a good serve, but handled really well by the Seawolves. What an up. Once you just have to send that one over. Yep. They're going to run their offense. They go outside to Gray. Tip. Handled by Ramier. Oh, we're in one. Gauthier out of the pipe. Great awareness by the rookie setter Ramier. Almost everyone on the court there is out of position. He doesn't really have somebody to set if he wants to try and set up front court, but decides, hey, I got my guy coming out of the pipe here. Floats one up to Gauthier, who sends it to Pound Town. Bartlett now back to serve. How high's the net, folks? Too high. Too high on that one as Bartlett sends it into the tape and gives the point back to the Holland College Hurricanes. UNBSJ now up 3, 17-14 here in the fourth, if you're just joining us or joined us recently. UNBSJ won the first 2 sets with Holland College taking the third set. So 2-1 UNBSJ here with a 3-point lead, 31 points into the fourth. Wow. And I don't know if that translated at home, how big that moment was from Powell, but Powell was in the air forever. Took his time, waited for the ball to come by him, and then sends it down. Talk about something that you do in volleyball when you're kind of like sussing out the skills of your team is you'll do a max vert test. You'll see how high these guys in their attack approach can touch. And to no one's surprise, number 6, Gabe Powell, leads this team in vert touch. I think he touches like 11.5 or 11.6, which is just nuclear. This one's live. Apostolovsky gets it back. Going to go over by Gauthier. Oh, a great run out of the middle. McCausland fired up about that one. Wow, nice swing by Apostolovsky. But a good answer by the... Wow, this is a good rally. Rally alert. Oh, and a big swing by Warren, who drives that off the hands of Ramier and Powell. Out of bounds. Now just a 1-point game. One-point game with 3 hitters at the front court here for Holland. They like where they're at. Oh! And a painful miss there that's going to give the ball and the point back to UNBSJ. Apostolovsky heads to the back court to serve with Adam Gauthier. Now into the front court here down the stretch of this game. Trouble. Oop, that's a double. Nice push. Yeah, no question on that one. What a touch by Gray. Oh, wow, man. Almost a really, really nice swing by Warren as well, but credit to UNBSJ. Discipline, getting that block set up and sending it back. UNBSJ now up 20-18 here in the fourth. Must-win game for Holland if you want to stay alive in this match. This one's just going to have to go over. Apostolovsky handles. Ramier handles. Oh, sloppy from everybody, but they still find a way to trickle it over. Valencia able just to find a bit of a soft spot in that defense. And UNBSJ takes that point back, now up 3. Head coach Brett Butler going to call a sub here. Kieran Hamlin coming out of the game, and into the game comes number 8. That's Shannon Hallwell. He's a third-year left side / libero from Nain, Labrador, Newfoundland. Nice touch by Gabe Powell. In there playing defense for the first time. Again! Gauthier fired up. Gauthier heard me say that he had a bit of a lackluster performance offensively the last set and really decided to show up in this one. Head coach Brett Butler making another substitution. Tyler McBride coming out of the game for number 9, Liam Galway. As Gabe Powell continues his serving spree. Forgive the yawn, folks. A bit of a late night last night. Head coach Brett Butler calling a timeout here to get a moment with his team. Now down 4 with only 3 to go on the UNBSJ side. Kind of has to happen now if you want to win. So calling a timeout to make sure. He's made a couple of subs. Probably want to make sure that everybody is on the same page about, where we want to get this ball, if we got a good pass, who our options are, why we are where we are, and who your matchups are at the net. Talk with your team and see what they see out there. But this is definitely more than just a deep breath timeout here. This is you're verging on one of those do or die situations here for the Hurricanes. And for UNBSJ, man, we're relying on some young players, even some rookies here, and putting together probably one of their best outings versus Holland in, I guess what's been 3 or 4 years. Firmly in the driver's seat here to take their first win over them in, at least 1,000 days. Gabe Powell, great serve. Oh, that's over. Job by Gall. Oh! The power, lovely option. This one has to go over. Nice job by Valencia. It's in the middle there. Nice high ball to the outside. And a winner from Warren. Nice pass by Apostolovsky. Whoopa. Could have called a double on that one, maybe. Carson Gray with a bomb. And he's fired up about it. Dude, look at Hamlin on the sideline. Gets into, he's drop shot in the other team. And a timeout by head coach Gino Karatsios. Man, he's seen this movie before. UNBSJ was up in a very similar position in the third set. Let Holland hang around and come back to win it. I think 26-24. UNBSJ needs to dig deep here. I was impressed by, how they had started out this set and hung in this set after having given up the last one. Sometimes it can be easy to take your foot off the gas at that point. They're still in a position here where they can put away this Holland Hurricanes team with a couple of good points coming out of this timeout. But I would say that the momentum is kind of firmly in the Holland College Hurricane side. We're in a good game. Good game. Thank you, brother. All right, so 2-point game. UNBSJ leads the game 2-1 in sets. Won the last one 24-26 in lost the last one 24-26 in a very similar situation. Holland trying to force their way into a game 5 here. Wow, what a tip from Gauthier. And a little bit of a chess match there with his opposite power, Carson Gray. Tips it to his zone, and Gray's able to get a hand on it, but not enough to pop it up to a place where the rest of his team can make a play. UNBSJ now up 3 with 2 to play with the rookie setter, Jackson Ramier, back to serve. Quality set. You knew where it was going. Outside to their guy, Carson Gray, who's been playing great down the stretch here. He drives that line, and Ramier gets a hand on it, but isn't able to pop it up for his team. 23-21. Holland to serve. McCausland. Apostolovsky. Whoopa! Has been struggling with the serve receive all game. Gets that one a little too tight. Ramier isn't able to get it off the net. Now just a 1-point lead. McCausland to serve again. Out! Valencia with a winner and a big screen from him. Good release. Another not so great pass from Apostolovsky, but enough to get it done. Gauthier now back to serve. Game on the line here. If you're Holland. Serve in. Got to go to Gray, you think. Dance with the guy that took you to the dance. Gauthier finds himself in an interesting position there. I think he thought he was going to have to lay out for that ball, and actually it was probably more in his wheelhouse than he realized. He tried to swing at it with one hand, but probably could have got two. Anyway, bats it out of bounds, basically. Gives that point back to Holland. Holland still down. Needs to win at least this point to stay alive. Setter Liam Galway to serve. Oh, we got a bit of a commercial timeout here as Gauthier takes care of some of the sweat that he imparted on the ground on that last dive. Slightly icing the kicker a little bit. Don't mind it. So Galway back to serve. Liam Galway is that second-year setter out of St. John's, Newfoundland, which means we have 3 hitters in the front court. We got Gray, we got Hamlin, and we got Werboweski. That's who you want if you're Holland. Benfica with a great pass. A big block. Valencia, winner! UNBSJ with what I'm not even sure I can verify, but with what is their first win over Holland in apparently 3 or 4 seasons. You know, some really veteran, experienced Seawolves out there had never had the chance to beat Holland until today. Some of those vets celebrating with the rookie setter, Jackson Ramier, after an awesome first performance in a Seawolves jersey for him. UNBSJ is going to take it 25-23 in the 5th and 3-1 in total to knock off the Holland College Hurricanes and start their season undefeated for what feels like the first time in forever. Thank you for tuning in. We'll have action again here tomorrow as the women and men's team are both in action again, and we will see you then.